America's suffering. Uh, I had a class teacher named Martha, and she told me the story when she was a small girl and she wanted a bicycle for her birthday, and America was at war, I think, with Japan, and they were rationing metals, and so they were not selling bikes. I guess maybe there's a black market for bikes, but her dad had to write a letter to his congressperson asking, "Can I use a bike?" And the congressperson responded, "Yes, if you ride it to work 4 out of the 5 days of the week." And so he did that per her words, and she had it the other day or 3 days. And that's a degree of American suffering that people have not experienced. The suffering that the people alive today. I mean, she was an old woman, and we are all suffering. We all have these benchmarks in life in that span of time when there's a suffering in a large scale, and it just kind of flows, ebbs and flows. But sometimes you have to suffer a little to reflect. It's being comfortable and relaxed, and everything is very convenient. That is beautiful, but it should be criticized to a degree. Like, for example, I lived in this neighborhood, and somebody was walking around with the laptop, holding the laptop, and on the laptop walking around. And I thought, that's not the wisest thing. I mean, this isn't necessarily a playground. This is still nature. This is still outside nature. The divide between urban and the wilderness is really vague, because there's all these houses, and the animals that were encroaching on the land of the animals. So you see a lot of roadkill, unfortunately. But the what was I on about? Just okay. There's a story. Little Dieter. He stored like canned food and shit in his basement because he had gone to Vietnam. Pretty sure it was Vietnam, and I think he was a prisoner of war in Vietnam. He was a prisoner of Vietnam, and he just rationed. I guess I forget the exact. I'm pretty sure that was the story, and it kept with him until his death. So went to war, young guy, and just hoarded because you never know when there's going to be war. So it's a fascinating story of like how your environment affects you. I think motherfuckers smoking weed. Nice. I don't know if that's true. I smell it. But the degree of American suffering through trauma and sadness, not good. Suffering as a means of pulling back in your lifestyle just a bit to, out of respect for the wider dragnet of government, considering that government is a great machine for organizing large groups of people and hopefully mitigating the degree of hostility between them. So, suffering is important. Now, the suffering has to be for the greater good, for a larger cause. Immigration is that cause right now. It's possible that the accepting of immigrants is a way of essentially lowering the population's numbers who think a certain way based on where they were from, because they'll undoubtedly become assimilated. Or hopefully, that's kind of the fucking, that would be great, but and they will just by proxy. But and if they don't, we'll get their food. But if the people of that land are suffering, they feel like they're suffering, and they're vocal about it, and their money is not going very far, and it's not, and a lot of people are pissed off about it, then not that there shouldn't be handouts, but we should be, the price of things need to change. And yeah, gotta end on a joke.